everybody. Welcome to Life Uncommon. We are excited to be here this morning. My name is Andrea Rodriguez.
And I'm Alita Sharp, and today is June
And something.
13th? I don't even remember. But this is our second show for the month of June, and we are celebrating Life Uncommon this month. And I'm really looking forward to today's discussion.
We have two powerhouses, I would say, in the house. And I'm excited. And like I said last week, women love to talk about men.
Yes.
And what a better way than to talk about men with men.
With men,
right?
exactly.
So I'm excited about it. And I hope that you guys are too. So please share our link. We are live on Facebook. So if you are watching on Facebook, share that link. Tell your friends they need to tune in today. Also, we are live, of course, on Plus TV. So tell your friends if they don't have Facebook, tune into Plus TV because this is going to be good. So I'm excited about it.
I am excited.
Yeah.
And we got to celebrate some young men this weekend as well.
Yes.
I have to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to send pictures, but then I remembered too late, so I'll have to show pictures next time. But yes, my son is in the U13, was in the U13 tournament, the Simeon Lopez Cup. And he plays with the awesome Y1 boys.
Yes.
Valencias, and they dominated the whole tournament.
Oh my goodness, they were amazing.
Yes! And they won the championship on Sunday. And it was amazing. This mama was out of control.
Totally out of control. There's video. You have to see.
I don't want to show all the video, but yes, I was so excited. So proud of my son.
Yeah.
To see he loved something so much. It was a great experience. So on yesterday, he came to me crying at school because I was at the school yesterday, that a boy was teasing him and telling him he can't play, blah, blah. And I looked at him and I said, boy, you that champion.
That's right.
Champion. I said, greatness will attract haters.
That's true.
And they will always have something to say.
Yeah.
I said, don't let them see you cry. Hold your head up and say, me a champion. All right? And he felt better afterwards. But I just want to congratulate these boys. They did such an amazing
really
job.
did.
And they had a worthy opponent. The boys from Spanish Lookout played
hard.
Yeah, but we played harder. We wanted it more. And so I'm so happy and proud. So. Yeah.
And they have a great coach, John George, and it was just Santi, and it was so exciting to watch and to see all the parents and the support that the kids had. It was amazing. I was so glad I got to be a part of it.
Yeah. John and Santi, they are doing an amazing job with those kids, and Santi prayed towards the end that they would not only be champions for football, but champions for Christ. And I thought, what a profound statement. And that is what they're doing. They're molding these boys not only to become football champions, but greater things in life, and to raise up men that will walk in the ways of God. So kudos to you guys. I don't know if I could handle a tournament right now. Like, give me a little break to catch up, because I need heart pills, pressure pills, all kind of pills. My goodness. So, anyways, moving on. So you're talking about little boys, then now we're going to talk to some big boys. And I will give you the honor of introducing our guest this morning.
Okay. Well, we have two incredible men with us this morning. We are being joined by Stephen Sangster and Brian Almendarez. So thank you so
guys.
much. Welcome.
Thanks for having us, Owen. We're happy to be here.
Yeah. Now, Stephen, this is your first time with us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. And Brian, of course, you.
No stranger.
No stranger.
He's more behind the scenes.
That's right.
So we'll start with Stephen, and tell us a little bit about yourself, Stephen.
Okay. Well, I am originally from Trinidad and Tobago, but I've been in Belize in and out for the last 12 years with my parents, and over the past almost 6 years, I've been rooted in Belize, and that root is my wife, my link, right? My foundation that we've been married. We'll be 6 years in December.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, but everything kind of came together when her and I got married, and well, when we met, and we originally met. I didn't know her, but she hit me up on Facebook.
Okay.
So we connected there, and since then we've been knitted together in ministry and life.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to be part of her life and her be part of mine. So I'm
That's
excited.
And
to
you
talk
have
to
some
you.
lovely children as well.
Yes, I have one daughter and 2 little boys.
Okay.
My daughter, I actually registered her for high school this morning.
Wow.
So it's a new experience.
Yes.
And thank God I work at the same high school that she's going to, so I
Okay.
could keep an eye.
There you
You
go.
know, let daddy walk around a bit and show off a little muscle.
That's right. That's
So we're
right.
good. I'm excited.
All right. And well, we said Brian is no stranger, but we have people tuning in all the time, Brian. So please
Yeah.
share with us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, well, morning everybody. My name is Brian Almendarez. I am from originally Village Boy, Unitedville. I born and raised in Belize, grew up in Belize. Grew up in Unitedville Village. I am now posted in Roaring Creek.
You are roots too.
So yeah, I've been in Roaring Creek for the past about maybe four years, going on 5. And so it's just been an amazing, incredible journey. God's been putting me many different places,
Yeah.
serving many different areas, and departments kind of overlap. But nevertheless, I'm here this morning, and I'm grateful. I'm honored to be a part of this show, and thank you all for having me.
Oh, thank
Well,
you.
we are glad that you guys could come because I know both of you are busy people.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. But I was telling Steven right before we started, Brian, that we wanted you guys to come because we see qualities in you, both that people are saying are kind of non-existent.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
scarce. You hear women making a comment all the time, we're part all the good man in there, no more good man there. Well, you know, most of them done married, so unfortunately these 2 are. But why do you think that is such a common thing these days, that people say we are all the good men?
I think it has to do with the lineage. I mean, my dad set an example for me, and he raised us up in a way. It's me and 3 brothers, so it's 4
Okay.
boys. And dad really set an example of not just showing a righteous life, but a loving father figure that took us under his wing and raised us up. And unfortunately, and I've been around in Belize long enough, and I haven't seen enough men being the fathers that they need to be. And it's a tough spot for a lot of women to do and try to fill that void. And I know young men look to those father figures,
Yeah.
and we could only do as much as we can and spend as much time as we can. And I'm involved with sports for that very reason, to try and open up some of those doors and talk to some of those young men about just being a man, you know, just being
Yeah.
held accountable. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing, being held accountable. And so I think it's one of the things that I've seen, and I know, and I've seen God move. And since we've been married, I've seen a lot of men around me start their marriage, start their families, and
Yeah.
be that example. So it's an exciting time to be growing up and raising up a new generation.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Well, for me, Steven, I mean, I always have to refer to the word, and try not to preach this morning.
It's okay.
But I mean, the word is what has me here.
Yeah.
If it wasn't
Yeah.
the word, I
Yeah.
would be here. So, but the word says, where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. And to answer your question, I believe why there is a lot of absence in male father figures right now is because there was a lack of vision of those who went before some of those young men growing up in their home, in their family. There was just this hopelessness, and growing up in a environment of, well, this is me and this is my lot in life, and well, there's not really much to look forward to. My grandfather was a drunkard, my father was a drunkard, everything, so I guess I must be a drunkard. My grandfather was a gangster, my uncle's a gangster, so I must be a gangster. And there is no vision beyond what exists right there in their little circle growing up now, and not many are privileged to have influential men in their lives that could help them to see beyond the scopes of the four walls of their home or their neighborhood where they grew up. And so I believe that's a big part of it. Thankfully for me, I was very privileged. I had a lot of men in my life that when I was growing up that spoke into my life, even when I didn't want to hear it. For myself, I didn't necessarily want to hear, but that I needed to hear at the time, and that they could shape me into who I am and who I'm still becoming right now. The vision that they put in me, having someone to look up to inspire you to say, this is what I want to be in the next 5 years. This is what I want to be in the next 10 years. This is what I want my family to look like when I have a family. Stuff like that, home dynamics. And I believe it paints a clear picture for me, saying that, yes, this may be what I am seeing around me growing up, but that's not what I want. This is what I want, and because I had that vision, I had a picture in my mind. This is what I want for me, for my family. I was able to run towards that, and yes, stumbling blocks come up along the way, but the end goal is always there, saying this is what I want for me. This is what I want for my family, not just for my family, but those who will follow behind me. Because there is also now looking at that. Someone who's responsible for me, so now I know in the position I am responsible for someone who is coming after me.
Right.
And so that's a very sobering thought to me, that I have to get my act together, because there are others depending on me to get it right.
So whether you're raising sons or daughters, there are people watching and that are coming after you.
And with daughters, man, I have a little girl. I mean, I speak to young men a lot. We work with youth ministries, legacy youth ministries, and other youth ministries that come up. But I've worked with young people a lot, and I'm very hard on young men. But man, looking at my daughter now, and I have to be hard on this young lady, it's a different ball game for me, and I have to kind of filter out my own heart in that and find out how I'm going to do this, because I look at her and she just melts me, and all my authority kind of has to be, I have to summon up all this in me, muster up that courage to say, yes, you're cute right now, but you're going around. I need you to stop doing that. And so it's very different, but young ladies need their daddies too.
Yes,
they need their fathers too. And that for me is one of the biggest things that keep me connected to my family, to my wife, to my daughter. I realize that little girls need their daddies too.
Yes.
And they need to trust them, and they need to depend on them, and they need to know that they are safe with them. Your wife needs to know that when she leaves your daughter with you, that she doesn't have to worry, that your daughter is safe, and she can find security, and she doesn't have to worry about the predatory mindset kicking in and stuff like that. I mean, I know I kind of went there, but that's a reality.
It is a reality with fathers
sadly,
and stepfathers. It's sadly
in our community now, and so just thinking about that, I say, Lord have mercy.
Amen.
And I'm so grateful for my home and how I was brought up, and knowing that my family is secure. Thanks to God and the grace that He has given me, and so I'm thankful for that. And Stephen, I mean, this is another man right here. We rub shoulders with him together, and we move forward. I know he has his girls that he has to look after too. So.
Yes. I have one stepdaughter, and it really was a different sort of stage of my life. I just came out of college, and I met this wonderful woman, and she had a daughter, and we had to work through how that relationship was going to work, and it took some time, and we had to develop a relationship, a natural relationship, and then I had to show an example of how to love, show her love, how a man should love somebody and protect and provide. And Amia has been a blessing. I know I tell Darlene, when we first met, she said she felt like Amia would have kind of pushed me away from her. But I told her that she was an addition to our relationship. So I thank God for that thing. I kind of got thrown into parenthood, marriage, job, everything in one. But it was really only by His grace that I was able to kind of maneuver through that. and move forward. If we're
Yeah.
still developing a
Yeah.
relationship, I mean, I'm gonna have to deal with a teenager. Whoa.
Yep,
You
I'm in
know.
that same boat as you, Stephen. But I loved how when you came on, if we didn't touch on the topic of stepdaughter or stepchildren, you would have never said that.
Yeah.
Because you see her, you said my daughter,
I
I have
know, I
one
was-
daughter.
yeah, I
and
love
that
that.
right away spoke so much to me
Yes.
because she can look at this show and be so proud.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
is your daughter, and I
Yeah.
think that says a lot about the type of man that you are. And
Yeah.
many men, they need to step up to that place. They want the woman, but they don't want the child
Yeah.
or
Right.
the children that comes along. And I've heard many stories of women that will neglect their kids for the sake
Right,
of
for
a
the
man.
sake of a man,
And I'm
yeah.
like, no. The babies are there
Yes.
before that man. And
Yeah.
so if that is a quality man, he will take the whole
Yes.
package,
The whole
right?
package.
Yes.
So, no, we're not going there though. That I wanted to ask this question early on. What is one thing you would say for both of you that is that you go to? What keeps you grounded as a man? That's a question I want to ask early on so we could get that out of the way.
Okay. Well, I mean, this honest spiritual answer is that God, we have to run to the Word and be established in have the Holy Spirit not just living but manifesting itself within us, and that helps in the Word. And also in the natural, my wife is really that beacon, that sort of helpmate that I need to hold me accountable. We just recently we had a little discussion about the way how I present myself in public, and she holds me accountable to what I do, whether it's in public, private, wherever.
Right.
She makes sure that I'm held accountable, and she does it in a way that is not disciplining me or
Okay.
trying to correct me or talking down to me.
Yeah.
She is edifying me, she's building me up, she's saying, this is the example people are looking for, and stuff like that, and that helps me. And she doesn't let things slide, but she's loving and she shows her heart, and that's what I love, that she's able to share her heart with me. And when I see her heart, when I see her maybe break down or whatever, that we're able to really connect, and that connection holds us. We're one.
Yes.
We're one. I want to live my life. Sometimes we say we want to live our own lives, but the Word says that when we got married, we became one, and we are one flesh.
Right.
And I believe that wholeheartedly, that Darlene and I are one flesh, walking and working together in this world. So that really keeps me grounded. And the Word, of course, is something that I really have to look to, and the Holy Spirit, and allowing God to lead me. If God leads me, I can lead my family, and that's what I hold on to.
Yeah.
So
That's a powerful
That is a
statement
powerful
right
statement.
there. And I hope people are
Yes.
listening. Even last week when we were talking, it's that same thing that they were saying. God is the center, right? And if God is leading you, then you can lead your family the way that you're supposed to. It doesn't make you superhuman, but it makes you be who God has created you to be,
Yes.
Brian, your turn.
Yeah, I know there's almost nothing for me to say. No, but I mean, one of the key things I found, what I had to go, because coming into the relationship with my wife, my wife is a huge counterbalance for me. In that we are different in so many ways, but I realize that I need the differences that she has for me to be a balanced man, because I tend to be top heavy or lopsided on one side, and then extremely lacking on the other side. And so I need that counterbalance in my life to bring me to a center, to a level balanced life, and so I love that in my wife, that she helps me to be balanced when I give something, because I'd be ready to say something and she'd be like, I don't think you should say that. How can you? So I'd have to probably rethink and go back to the drawing board and then refine my statements. So that's something she helps me to find my center in. Aside from that, when I move forward in life, every time I move forward, I think about, because as Stephen was saying, when two of us become one. So it's not just me thinking about, okay, how I can better myself anymore. It's me thinking about, okay, how can I do better for us?
Yeah.
And it's
Definitely.
the us in this in the picture that makes me think and make a lot more sound decisions, because sometimes if I'm on my own, it's just me, so I just rough it up. But then when it's someone else, you have to think and consider how these decisions affect or influence the rest of my family, my wife, my child, everything. And so it helps me to live a more balanced life and to walk well-rounded, so that when I make a decision, I know that I have the backative and the affirmation of my wife with it, and I can step forward confidently. So I step in a room and I'm not guessing what I'm doing, or I'm not thinking about maybe I shouldn't be doing this or doing that, because I know when I make a decision, my wife is with me. So I feel like the confidence is also with me as a man. So that also brings me to my center. So
and I'm sure Ada would say the same. You keep her balanced, and you help her to stay grounded. And I think most wives would say that. Well, hopefully. I know that's true for my husband. He keeps me grounded and gives me the confidence. Like, if it wasn't for his support, I wouldn't be doing a TV show. So I am thankful for him. But we're not talking about Dion today.
No.
He'll have his own time to talk. Come on.
I was really encouraged and excited to hear both of you talk about the value of teamwork and talk about the value of your wife's input into your life. Stephen, you also mentioned that she doesn't do it in a way where she's talking down to you or that kind of thing. What can women do so that we can encourage and strengthen and build up our men? What's the difference between giving that kind of constructive criticism or support or whatever and nagging? What's the difference?
We're not perfect. The communication is not perfect. The good thing is that we communicate, and that's the important thing. But what Darlene and I had to work through was that coming into the marriage and the relationship, she did talk down, she did try to correct. But over time, she recognized the God in me leading me. And that she had to just trust that God will lead me in the right direction. Now, she puts her input, but she has to believe and pray. That God and the Holy Spirit will lead. Because as men, and being honest, as men, we don't really like somebody telling us what to do. We don't. We want to know that we're in charge and that what we say kind of is correct. And it's hard for us to come to a place where we said, you know what, that really didn't work the way that it was supposed to. And as a result, we kind of combat women a little bit, because women want us. They see more than we could see sometimes.
True.
And I'm being very, just the other day, Darlene say, you have to put gas in the car. I was like, no, it'll run. She's like, have to put gas in the car. Well, the car shut down. So I had to listen. But those kind of things, recognizing the God in me that will lead, gives her more peace about just saying what she needs to say and then letting God work. And she has seen it happen and work enough times. It's a delayed sort of, response and effect. She has to be a little patient. But that is really what kind of helps us as men, allowing our wives allowing us to lead, but put in their input and just trust in God that He will give, the Holy Spirit will put him in the right direction. So that's really one of the things.
And well, for me, and I'm gonna share this. It might be a kind of free plug for this book, but there's a book we read early on coming into our marriage that was called The Love and Respect Manual. And that's an awesome book. You need to, if you haven't read that book as a couple, you need to read that book, The Love and Respect Manual, and it speaks about a man just needs respect and a woman needs love. So men give respect to get love, women give love to get respect. And so, vice versa.
Right.
But the point is that I will accept whatever you have to say if it's in a respectful tone, and if you come in affirming, and I realize that you are for me and on my side, rather than you're trying to tear me down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is respect.
Yeah.
I don't think any person can ignore. I mean, a soft answer turns away wrath. No
Right.
one can turn away good counsel in respectful tone. And so you receive respect. I receive any form of counsel if it is respectful,
Yeah.
whatever it is. I mean, I may not necessarily like it at the time, but I don't have anything to respond to you because you're
Yeah.
speaking to me in a
Yeah.
respectful
Right.
tone, right? And then the ultimate response for that is always love. I dish it out because I see you're protecting my blind side.
Yes.
I see you are on my side, and you are looking at the areas that I'm not seeing, and you love me enough to tell me about it before I do it, rather than to come back after I did it and say,
Right.
I told you so.
Yeah.
Because late counsel, I don't believe, is really counsel. So
Yeah.
you can't just come in and say, I told you so, after I already made the mistake, and expect that you will be, because I mean, it won't be interpreted. So
Yeah.
ladies, please, I'm telling you, please help us to see it before,
Yeah.
and speak to us in a respectful tone. So even if we make a mistake, we can always say, well, my wife was telling me, and that helps,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
plays on our conscience
Yeah.
afterwards,
Yeah.
and say, I should have listened to my
Yes,
wife.
eventually I listen to it.
Put the gas in the car.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I should have listened to my wife. I mean, love and respect, right?
Yeah, those are powerful things. And ladies, you're hearing it from the men.
Yes.
You know, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be coming back. But guys, share this. Let your friends know that we're on, because these guys are sharing some really good things. I
Yes.
really like what both of them said. And I just have to say kudos to the wives, because I want to talk to Darlene after
Definitely,
this,
I
for her
know.
to share some of
Yes.
those things, because I was a lot like her too with when we just got married, of just that sharp way of talking and belittling, but that was all we knew. No, but with God, He taught us differently, and we learned to talk different, and we have a wonderful marriage. So the way you say things, can make a big difference in your marriage. All right, so we're going to go to break, and we will come right back, so don't go anywhere. I was trying to.
My name is Ashley Rock, and I'm a senator of the government of Belize. I'm here today to talk about my good friend, Dr. Paul Wisnott, and to say without hesitation that it is my greatest pleasure to grant him this title of Honorary Humanitarian Ambassador for the country of Belize. Since I knew Dr. Paul from the very early days, I never knew that his ministry would turn out to be this grand, because he was a humble man. What I saw was a humble man with an aim to work with our people. He simply did what Jesus wanted him to do quietly. Today, we can boast that Dr. Paul's leadership has now blossomed into what we believe is one of the greatest ministry institutions in our country, under the name International Servants. Thank you, Dr. Paul, for your influence in our country. Thank you for your love for Belize, because from the time you came in 1990, you have not left. You have become, to me, one of my greatest friends in the ministry of Christ. And you continue to show yourself one of those stalwart Christian men who is not just speaking or saying words, but is actually doing what you say with your words. Thank you, and I grant to you this day, on behalf of the people of Belize, this title of Honorary Humanitarian Ambassador. God bless you, my brother.
Dad, I'll take Boardwalk off your hands for $1,000. It's almost triple.
Nope.
Okay, fine. I'll give you $2,000 plus the utilities. Take it or leave it.
Is that all you got?
Okay. I know you won't refuse this.
What's good barbecue worth to you? Grace barbecue sauce.
Hey, Alita.
Come on in.
Hey.
Hey.
It's been a while.
I know, my goodness.
So, I hear you're a big fan of a show called Life Uncommon.
Yes, I am. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
What is it about?
It's a daytime show, and it empowers women to embrace the extraordinary and go against the grain of the common.
I really like the sound of that.
Yeah, I knew you would like it because it's a really fun show.
It sounds that way.
It's a mixture of tears and laughter and challenges and human interest stories.
Well, you know what? I might just give it a shot.
Well, let's go.
All right, let's go. Hi, guys. Alita and I want to invite you to join us on Tuesdays at 10:30 for a new season of Life Uncommon on Plus TV. You do not want to miss what 2017 will bring. It's going to be awesome.
It sure will. Welcome back to Life Uncommon. We are live here in the studio at Plus TV, and we have been having a great conversation with Stephen and Brian. So please tell all your friends, get everybody involved, and if you want to participate in the discussion, we're live on Facebook. You can submit your questions there. You can send us a text.
Yep.
I think the number should be on the screen coming up. We were talking before the break about I don't know how to. My mind just went blank because of something I said before we started. So now that's all I'm thinking about.
Well, let me do a quick little ad that I forgot to put up. And we want to say thank you. We got a new sponsor last week.
Yes, we're so excited.
I-Servants Believes, or International Servants. They're sponsoring a father and son event in Belize City. It's going to be a fun day on June 17th. This Saturday right here at the IT Vet compound there on Freetown. And it starts at 10 a.m. They're going to have lots of giveaways. I hear great prizes. They're going to do games. It's going to be praise and worship, food, drinks, the works. And they're having a guest speaker also coming in from the States to talk with you guys, the men and the boys. Dr. Steve Stewart. And so they want to invite all the men and boys. Take your sons, and maybe you have some boys that you are mentoring. Take them with you. So if you want to go, contact Pastor Dave Rowland at the Belmopan Baptist Church at 605-8533. And yeah, let him know you want to come. This event is sponsored or hosted by the Men's Committee of the Baptist Association of Belize, and they want all the men and boys to come out. But contact him and let him know, okay? So 605-8533 is the number if you are interested in attending this father and son event this Saturday in Belize City. All right. Moving on. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. Brian, you had mentioned Love and Respect, that book. And we'd been talking about like teamwork and your wives speaking into your lives. What are some of the things that might make it difficult for a man to actually be the leader in his home?
Well, that's a kind of sticky thing.
I know.
But
But we want to hear
I'm gonna
the
be honest.
answer.
I'm gonna be honest. Is whenever a man feels threatened, is when he will respond in not loving and not respecting. I believe if a woman tries to trump a man by doing anything that a man is usually or normally assigned to do in the home, I think that is what causes problems in the home. And so when it comes to men leading out, there are a lot of areas that a man, I believe, should lead out. But whenever a woman feels either a man moves too slow or he's not moving fast enough for their likings, and then they jump the gun and they run and do it, that I think is what primarily makes a man feels a bit ruffled and flustered. And but even it may be very right, they may be very right in saying that the man is moving slow, but I believe it's a lot easier for them to come alongside and to keep nudging them and in the side and say, dude, you need to get it going, and lovingly, rather than to say, you know what, you're just not doing it, so I'll do it. And so I think that's one of the things that might get a guy a bit out of his game. So
talking from both the secular and Christian perspective, men are generally supposed to be providers and protectors. And if they're not filling either one of those roles, it's hard for a woman to kind of allow them to lead and respect their kind of authority and their voice. If they're not a provider and they're not a protector. And I mean, you know, we're in the 21st century, so not all men will be the going, you know, the ones that will bring in the money and stuff like that. But just being a protector, you know, a guide, somebody that watches out and looks out and is a watchman on the wall for their family is definitely something that men, if they're not stepping into that role, it's hard for women to respect it. But also just the life that men, their word. If a woman can't trust their word, I feel it's hard for a man to kind of say something and then for them to kind of be like, okay, you know, I trust that. But if his word has continually been broken, he says one thing and he does something else, and he continues to break that trust, then it's really difficult for a man to come into the home and lead his family. It takes time. Takes time of building that trust and that word. And something that Darlene and I pray for and we pray about is that I won't break that trust with her. And me more than, you know, I hold myself at a higher standard than I would her. But for me, because women need that trust, and I feel like she really depends on trusting me, and if I break that trust, it's even more difficult to come to build it back. So I think that's one major thing that men and women look to keep that man in the forefront kind of thing.
All right, well, I kind of also want to shift to let's say we have some young, maybe single men who are watching, you know, and they are saying, well, you know, they could talk like that, they're married, they're straight. But what are some advice or what are some things that we could share, you guys could share with the young men watching who aren't married yet? Because, you know, sometimes you have these young men who are maybe entering into relationship after relationship, and they see the married men with their wives and say, I want a wife like that, I want this type of wife, but they're not really doing their part as well. So what can we share or say to those guys watching?
You want to go first? I mean, I'm big on this because I have a daughter, right? And so, but I'm very big on this in that single people can't claim married people privileges.
You can say that again.
I'm very big on that, and I'm not just talking about physical. I'm physical is besides the point on this. Single people can't claim married people privileges. Marriage is covenant, but it also comes with responsibilities. It also comes with blessings. It also comes with a whole bunch of other stuff that single people just can't claim. And I say that also to say that a lot of young people, I mean, we've talked to a lot of young people that are very controlling of each other, and I'm like, how long have you been going out and seeing each other again? It's like 6 weeks, a month, and everything. And,
oh my goodness!
And the kind of demands that they make of each other, I'm like, dude, y'all need to slow down and start rethink where you're headed with this. But I say all that to say that, man, we need to be, number one, completely honest with ourselves about our current status and the other person's current status, and try to build based on where you're at. And then keep the vision of where you're headed in mind, so that you don't preempt the process. Because you can't be saying that I want to get all the way down the line, third base, if you're not even prepared to come to the game and say what are the terms of agreement. I'm just saying, we need to have a clear outline of, okay, what are the terms and conditions of this relationship, and where are we headed, and be completely honest with each other early. And so I say all that to say, man, we as men particularly, and I'm stressing on young men, we need to take the lead in this, in making it a lot easier for the young ladies to be true to themselves and to value themselves. Teach a young lady how to value and to uphold the principles that come with being a young woman and growing into a grown woman that people can respect on the road. I mean, I always think about this, and I say, I don't want anyone to ever look at me on the street and to say, oh, see him, I was with him, I know what all he did. You see her, I know I was with her. And that was never like, I could always say that. And so I say, by the grace of God, God has kept us to the point where we can be people that can be an example, and not people that when they look past us and they see, man, I know that guy, and yes, he's talking this, that, but we know how he is. We know what it is. We need to be setting examples, particularly as young men first, that young women can stick with us.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're ready, Steven?
So, well, for me, I struggled with what it is that my own self-esteem, you know, growing up, and sometimes you feel like you need to be validated by having a girlfriend or something like that. And for the advice I would give those young men is that find a purpose right now. Find something that you are involved in, something that you, either if it's your education or church. If you're involved in church, that's an amazing thing, but you know, it's hard to get young people really committed to stuff in church. But if it is your job or something like that, that is really where you want to keep focused. But as men, we do a lot of things for girls. We do a lot of things. We go and jump through hula hoop after hula hoop to get girls to like us or notice us or pay attention to us. And sometimes it takes a moment where we have to shift what our priorities are. And it wasn't until I shifted my priorities that I was ready for marriage, because then I kind of went away from what do I need to do to get myself a girlfriend or somebody, and then what does God want me to do? And you know, and it's hard to speak to young people about what does God want you to do, because you're still trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Who am I, you know? So being busy doing something is important. And for me, the sex before marriage was important for me. At 10 years old, I got baptized. And I remember making a kind of prayer or commitment to God that the first woman I ever sleep with will be my wife. Now, in today's day and age, it's very difficult to keep that. But
people rolling eyes.
Yes, but God kept me. God kept me. And even in the midst of college and being away, and it kind of bothered my self-esteem, because I was like, you know, is it that I'm ugly or fat or whatever? Why am I not haven't I slept with anybody or anything like that? But God, in the end, when you look back,
Yeah.
He kept you.
Yeah.
And He kept you so that you can have that testimony
Yeah.
now
Right.
to say to other young men, it is
Possible.
possible.
Yeah, it's
That the first woman you sleep with and on your wedding night is your wife. Not just when you're a fiance, when you're married.
You're married.
Yep, back to my point.
Is your wife. And so that really kept me because I didn't have a soul tie to somebody.
Yeah.
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 And just like what Brian was saying, the fact that people feel like they own them,
Yeah.
like even emotionally, you could
Yeah.
create a soul tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for young people just to kind of keep those soul ties a little loose and
Yes.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where and when
Yeah.
God is going to lead
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And there's so many toxic relationships among young people, more than I've seen before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
times really have changed.
Yeah.
From when we were growing up, like, I mean, you couldn't get in a toxic relationship. Your mommy a boss, you, or your pa or somebody. But now there's so much of that going on. So Brian said that that is something that we've talked about
Yeah.
on the whole controlling issue and
Yeah.
just really unhealthy relationships. So, I mean, guys, I have 2 daughters and I want 2 good men, you know, that will win the heart of my girls when that time comes. I'm raising a son as well and I want to raise a good man. And so
Yeah.
all of us have to kind of do our part as parents. You know,
Definitely.
even if you don't have a child, you might have a niece, a nephew, somebody. You can, you know, speak into that child's
Yeah.
life and make a difference. But I do want to take a quick break because we have to pay. When I said pay the bills
That's
or
right,
something like that, we really do need to do another short break, and we will come back and wrap up this show with these guys. So we'll be right back, guys.
Dad, I'll take Boardwalk off your hands for $1,000. It's almost triple.
Nope.
Okay, fine. I'll give you $2,000 plus the utilities. Take it or leave it.
Is that all you got?
Okay. I know you won't refuse this.
What's good barbecue worth to you? Grace barbecue sauce.
Hey, Alita.
Come on in.
Hey.
Hey.
It's been a while.
I know, my goodness.
So, I hear you're a big fan of a show called Life Uncommon.
Yes, I am. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
What is it about?
It's a daytime show, and it empowers women to embrace the extraordinary and go against the grain of the common.
I really like the sound of that.
Yeah, I knew you would like it because it's a really fun show.
It sounds that way.
It's a mixture of tears and laughter and challenges and human interest stories.
Well, you know what? I might just give it a shot.
Well, let's go.
All right, let's go. Hi, guys. Alita and I want to invite you to join us on Tuesdays at 10:30 for a new season of Life Uncommon on Plus TV. You do not want to miss what 2017 will bring. It's going to be awesome.
It sure will.
My name is Carlos Moreno. I'm the United States Ambassador to Belize. No, I'm always interested in individuals who do good work. I was impressed by the breadth and scope of the kind of humanitarian assistance Paul has been providing to Belize for decades. Today I had the pleasure, accompanied by Dr. Paul, to visit a couple of Mayan villages and met some of the residents and children there. We also visited the school, the children's farm, and saw some of the work being done there to improve that piece of property. I think the capstone of my visit, though, was the visit to the medical mission. When you see that kind of humanitarian work goes on, I feel like that really is a force multiplier. To see it, in particular, being delivered by Americans who are volunteering their time and their resources and so forth, is really very, very gratifying. You can see it in their faces. You can see it in how they talk about the work that they do here. So it really does make me feel very proud to be a representative here as the United States ambassador. There's probably no other person in the nonprofit, faith-based religious community here that delivers charitable work, medical work, and so forth. Anybody that really comes even close to the scope of the kind of work that he's doing here.
Welcome back, everybody. We need more sponsors so we could make the show hour and a half, maybe. We've been having such a great time. They've just been sharing some really powerful stuff, some uncommon stuff, and I'm hoping it's inspiring to you all. And I mean, they really must be so inspiring because you guys quiet power today. Nobody not call. I guess I don't know. I missed a word.
And watching.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's because you guys are listening, and I know you're watching because we see people on Facebook. So guys, drop us a line, a comment. Send us a text, give us a phone call. We only have a few minutes left, anyways. But I do want again to remind everybody of this event that's taking place in Belize City I was going to say January. June 17th.
Father and Son Fun Day.
And so it's at 10 a.m. at the IT Vet Compound in Belize City there on Freetown. Father and son. So come on out. They say they have lots of fun and great giveaways, fun games, food, praise and worship. It's going to be a really good day. They have a guest speaker coming in as well. So you want to be a part of that if you are able to this Saturday in Belize City. And it is hosted by the Men's Group Association, the Baptist Association. They're the ones hosting it, and they just want to extend a big invitation to all men this Saturday. So feel free to go out and have some fun. I mean, men love food, right, Steven? You guys like food? So,
very true, Andrea.
Yeah. So I guess that's another question. I just made a team. But it's because the saying that way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more than that, right?
Definitely.
Because if you cook for the man, but you always put hand down, I don't think you work. You need more than just food. But they love food too, right, Brian?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a few minutes left on the show, and we want to give you guys the time to really just share your heart to our viewers, because I was thinking, okay, what question can I ask you? But I just really feel like this is a time for you guys to just share your heart with our viewers, whatever is on your heart when it's speaking to men who's out there watching. Maybe give some encouragement to those guys who may have messed up, Stephen. I really love what you shared. At 10 years old, you made that commitment. And sometimes we forget things we tell God, right? And then you're like, what happened? What's wrong with me? And then God's like, I didn't forget. You might have forgotten, but he kept you. And some guys may be out there that messed up, feel like a failure, maybe not in the area of sex, but in other areas, they have messed up and feel like, well, what can I do? But so maybe if you guys want to speak to that or whatever you want to share.
I just want to encourage the men out there to understand that God made us the ones that could shoulder the burden. And he made our shoulders broad, and I look at that spiritually and emotionally as well. As we can take a lot, we can take on a lot, we can deal with a lot, we can kind of, a lot of stuff could bombard us and we could kind of take it on. But with yoking up with God, and like the yoke isn't meant to be a burden, it's meant to be a relief. And when we yoke with Jesus Christ and his life and his testimony, it lightens that burden. But it's meant for us to take on and shoulder that burden. And if women around us, if it's your mother or your sister or your girlfriend or your wife, you can take on a lot that they throw at you. And the more that you are patient, the more you trust God and believe God, they will see that in you, and they will come around and be supportive like you'd want them to be supportive. They will be loving and forgive like you want them to be loving and forgive you. And like I said, just be encouraged to take on that burden and trust God with the burden. Trust God that you can handle that yoke, that you can handle that burden of leading and covering your family. And it's really worked a lot for me. I deal with a lot, at school and at work and at church and at home, and it's like, ooh, it's a lot. But God made men to be able to handle that, and I thank God that I have his grace to allow me to deal with it, and a wife that keeps me motivated to go and wake up next morning and take it all on. So I encourage you guys with that.
Man, it's good, Steve. I receive from that. No, but it's awesome. I think the best thing I'd have to do is say I'd like to share. I believe for me, God spoke to me when I was very young. About 17, I was going through a hard time in my own life and saying, God, what do you want from me in my life? What do you want? And at the same time, pursuing someone and feeling like, okay, I'm not making any progress here. And then I try and I fail and it's not working the way how I want to. And I'm saying, God, what do you want from me? How can I be a better man? I want to be a better man. And it's interesting. I heard the concept shared maybe once before, but God reminded me of it. He said, Brian, you want to be a good husband and a good man. If you want to be a good husband, you need to learn how to be a good wife. I'm like, what does that? You're speaking in parables again, Lord. Understand what? I need to learn how to be a good wife. He said, Brian, you are the bride of Christ. So you are my wife. Okay. So you need to learn how to be a good wife. And so consider yourself my bride. What would you require of a bride? How would you walk as a bride? What do you require of your bride? And then walk in such a way that you're a good bride. And as I learn to become a good bride to Christ, to God, as I learn to spend time with him, to prioritize him, to respect the time with him over the time with anybody else, to learn how to stay committed to him in the face of temptation, in the face of problems, in the face of circumstance. That's what I would require from a bride. And so as I learned to be a good bride to Christ, I learned how to be a better man and be a better husband to my wife. So subconsciously, women would tell you they seek Jesus in a man. And I don't care where you're from. Ultimately, Christ is the man. He is the man. Jesus is the man. And so women, if they think about it, women really seek Jesus in a man. The more like Jesus you are, the better man you will be in whatever area you are, including a better husband to your wife. So I try to be a better man by being better and closer to Christ. So that when you look at the personality and the traits that I represent, following Christ, I am patient, I am kind, I am a person that has compassion, I know how to relate to them, but I also know how to speak with authority, I know how to exercise authority and respect, I know how to discipline, I know how to be disciplined, and the disciplines it takes to be a better man by walking with Christ, by taking time out and spending time with God, because all these things Jesus did in his own life. And so learning to be a better bride to Christ made me a better husband to my wife. And so I just wanted to leave that with you all and encouraging you and challenging you to learn to become a better man and a better bride to Christ, that you might be a better man and a better husband to your wife.
I've never
Wow.
heard that before.
I love
But I
that.
think I have to learn how to cut out some
Definitely.
clips and
Yeah.
do that. I think that
So
is
we
such
can
a
post
powerful,
that.
I
Yeah.
think it's so powerful. It makes sense. And when he was talking about spending time and stuff like that with God, and yes, we want to spend time
Right.
with you too,
Right.
and
Right.
so, and vice versa. So, like, sometimes you have the thing of what men want women to know and what women want men to know. So what is one thing that you guys would want women to know from as a man? Not necessarily a wife, but woman.
I'm not. Well, for me, it's the way we communicate. We
Okay.
communicate differently.
Okay.
Men, we tend to be very straightforward.
Yeah.
And something that I tell Darlene all the time is that don't be roundabout about what you want me to do. Don't be cryptic messages about what it is. Just say, okay, you didn't like that, you didn't like it. Not like.
Mashkan over here.
So that's one thing, I really
That's a good
thank
one.
God that we're able
That's a
to
good
work
one.
with, but it's every day it's a different thing. So I really
It's true, man. I mean, what we
Good one.
say,
I like that.
what we say is what we really mean.
Straight. Yeah.
I mean, we
Say
really
it.
mean what we
My
say.
husband always says that I can't read your mind. Just tell me what you want me to do and
that's
I'll do
great.
it. Just
Yeah.
don't expect me to read your mind.
It's true. It's true.
You mean you men aren't mind readers? Come on.
Sadly,
Sadly, no.
That would have helped us. No, I mean, well, for me, I think I'd like to say to ladies that as much as we pretend to, men, we don't know everything. We don't know everything because sometimes you might say, fix it. And you're the guy, fix it. I can't fix everything. I might know a lot. I might know how to fix a lot, but I can't fix everything. And so we need you to know that we need you.
Yeah.
We need you. As much as you might say, well, he's a man, he can figure it out. He has all the strong muscle and everything, but we need you. And so stick close. Stick close.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good to hear as well. That really is. Because I know, I remember especially being a young bride a young mom after our children started to come along. And I thought, well, my husband's grown. He can take care of himself. I need to focus on the babies.
Yeah.
But to hear you say that you still, that men still need us,
Yeah.
we need to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I have a lot to say on that, but we don't have time.
We don't have time. Yeah, and this hour goes by so fast, and I'm talking to men about men. There's so much we could talk about, but I was just thinking that we need to extend it, because there are so many things come up, and as these men share their heart and share their thoughts, it spurs on more things that we want to talk about. So our time is almost up, and this is hard.
So we'll say thank you to our guests, and then we could say thank you to our sponsors quickly. So thank you, Brian.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephen, so much for being with us this morning, taking time out to be here.
Yeah.
We appreciate it very, very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you, Great Belief, and to iServe, to everybody that is watching. Thank you for everybody that's behind the scenes. This morning, I can't call everybody's name. I apologize.
Remember name.
Yeah. But you guys are doing a great job. Brian, you've trained them all well.
We have to do, like my husband must call names, Anthony, Mark, John, and then must I get one correct, William.
I remember that one. Yeah.